Alright, welcome back. So, a long time ago now, probably a few months at least, I did a video talking about getting into the modding / makerspace for ballad songs, and I talked about wanting to do my own Replicant mods and my own Kraken Reblade. Now, I said I'd bring an update within probably the next month or two on the kind of progress I was making with these, but truth be told, it's been a long time coming. It's probably been 3 or 4 months now since I put out that video, and yeah, I'm finally finished, sort of. What the problem was I had loads of issues with manufacturers getting stuff wrong. I'd send them off designs and they'd send me back stuff that was like subpar, that, you know, all the dimensions were off, they never fitted and things like that. And I mean, that was kind of my my fault for choosing a very inaccurate process. You know, SLS, like resin printing, is not very accurate, but you know, I finally got some working prototypes, so I thought I'd do a video on them. They're just 3D printed, like I said, out of resin, but I thought I'd kind of talk over them because I'm getting this stuff done in metal soon, and I think some of you would appreciate an update. So obviously this is a Replicant. You may have noticed full length spacers. Now, I'm quite a fan of these, actually. I've loved the way, like, not full length, like faux channel spacers look on Replicants. I've always wanted to make my own, simply because everyone else is stupidly expensive, and I thought, you know what, it's a fun, easy little thing to have a go at. So, guy with glasses on my Discord helped me out loads on this. He, you know, gave me information about the dimensions, things like that, to fit on the rep, because my measurements on this one were not the best, to put it that way. And he kind of helped me out with getting these fitted, actually, after they got delivered at the wrong size. But they're all fitted now, and honestly, I'm a huge fan of the way these look and how they feel. Now, the design is relatively simple. It's just a full, like a faux channel thing. We've got some jimping down here. I tried to make it similar to the spacing of Kraken jimping, since I've seen a lot of people's that they've done in the past look awful because there's just it's too thin, not deep enough for any grip. I mean, these are not amazing. They provide the slightest bit of grip when you're doing chokers on the end, but they're more like visually aesthetic than anything. I will make liners and scales, and when I make those, they'll be the same size as the jimping here, and they'll become a lot more useful. If my camera will focus, I'll show you. Obviously, when these are cut out in the, come on, focus. When these are cut out in the handles, they'll be a lot more useful, but we'll see about that. If I make my own Replicant at any point, it will be having jimping like that. This was just kind of a test to see. Maybe my final product won't have jimping. It's just, you know, something I wanted to play around with, learning how to do and how to add. Now, the other thing I was talking about was a Kraken Reblade. Actually, tell you what, no, let's do sound test and let's talk a bit more about this first. So we'll do a sound test first because they sound great. They got loads and loads of bounce to them. Close is the same. Just general flipping, they're like quite thucky. You know what that sort of sound is. They've got a really, they got a really nice kind of feel to them. Obviously the full channel feels really nice. I'm not a fan of sandwich ballad songs that much, so having this kind of fixes the rep for me. It also sounds great. Tolerances aren't the best, but that's just because it's value glass. It's a bit of tap, obviously, but the spacers don't really change that. If anything, they make it better because they're slightly thicker than the OG ones by like a fraction of millimeter, but you know, it's barely anything. So that's the Replicant. I thought I'd show that off since they're kind of cool. If I can actually flip it properly. Nope, apparently not. Anyway, those are kind of cool, nice and simple, nice and easy. Quite enjoy these, and maybe I'll be making more, but actually manufacturing these out of titanium is kind of pricey, so they're not something I'm looking forward to doing. Or if I do end up making them and then selling them, yeah, profit margins are not going to be very high on that. So unless I sell them for like $100, which I don't really want to do, if I can make them cheaper than that, it would be better, but we'll see. Anyway, enough of that. That's kind of cool. Thought I'd show that off. This is what everyone probably wants to see. The Kraken Reblade. Now, if you haven't seen on my Discord and you don't follow me on there, this is essentially a Bowie version of the V3 Trainer Blade. If I can get my V3 clone, since I don't actually have a real one at the moment. You see that? It's basically an inverted V3 Tanto, but in the Bowie style. And I really like that idea. It's got a lot more tip weight, so fanning is going to be better. It's slightly lighter than the Tanto, the actual real live blade Tanto, so it's going to be ever so slightly more handlebars, but with a lot more tip weight, meaning it's going to have a bit more kind of, it'll fan better and it will stick on chaplings slightly better, which is kind of a lot of my flipping style. We'll see obviously when the metal prototype comes in exactly how that kind of matches up, but yeah, I don't know how it's going to flip until I actually have a metal one in my hand, but this is the design I'm going with for now for my first Reblade. I know it's basically a clone of Squid Industries, but obviously they don't make a Bowie Trainer, which is something I really want, so had to make one myself. But that'll be the first design. I don't know whether that'll be the final design, but it's what I'm going with for now. If you have a look, it's kind of, I think it looks really good. Quite a big fan of it. Handle gap is looking like that, very similar to the real Tanto, which is in that drawer, but I'm not going to get it out now. Obviously less than the clone, because the clone's got a bigger one, but it's very similar, maybe on the slightly smaller side, but I don't think it's the end of the world. When it comes to actually being on metal, it'll be better. Close handle gap is exactly the same as a normal Kraken. We'll see. There's a bit of blade rub actually on this model because the 3D printing is not massively accurate, but there we go. So that's what it's going to look like for all of those who are interested. I'll be making a prototype. I might do a pass around or maybe send it to a few people to get some feedback, but that list is very short and it'll probably likely only be people in the UK who get that. Anyway, that's kind of plans. I've sent the metal trainer blade, if this will open, the metal trainer blade to be printed, or sorry, to be machined. It's getting CNC machined out of steel, same as what all the other blades are made out of. And then, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Plans to sell are not a lot yet. Maybe if this goes really well and I have loads of interest, I might do a very small production run of these, maybe 5 blades to sell. They'll be on Squid Industries hardware type thing by TrueLink. You know, so they'll be good quality, but obviously that's all in the future, and I'll do another update video talking about all of that when I have a bit of a better idea. But this beaten up thing, when it has the metal blade on it, will be what I'm going to do pass arounds with. But yeah, as for other rep parts, nothing really in the works, but maybe I'll get something made out of titanium, like spacers like this made out of titanium, but again, no real plans for that at the moment, so we'll see. Maybe when I get a bit more money and sorted out that Reblade, we'll think about doing some more rep mods, but that's it for now. Maybe we'll do a rep Reblade as well, since I feel like a lot of people kind of want, loads of people modify these, and there's a little bit of a market for that. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of all I had to show off. If anyone's interested, obviously DM me if you want to know the progress of these. In my Discord server, there is a section called modding, and there's also a little thread for that Reblade actually over there that has all the information in it that you will need. So, you know, if you want the latest news on this sort of stuff, I know this isn't my usual content, that's probably the best place to find it, but there will be an update in the future, probably in a month's time, whenever that Reblade goes through all the kind of machining steps and then gets sent over to me, because I'm not machining it, I'm getting some outsourcing that. But yeah, whoop. I'll be seeing you.